Well, I can say that working here in the office, probably the most common call we get from people is about the Pac-12 network. It's a very hot topic from a lot of people in the community. What are your views on the Pac-12 network? How has it worked? Oregon will be on the Pac-12 network playing the 7 o'clock games the next couple weeks. Has the network been what you hoped it would be when it was launched, and where do you see the future for the Pac-12 network?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a level set, the Pac-12, Pac-10 at the time, and then Pac-12 was well behind our competitive peers from a distribution standpoint, meaning TV distribution standpoint, and then from a TV resource standpoint. So we were at a huge deficit just in exposure. So the whole new TV deal that included the Pac-12 networks did bridge a big gap. And the production's been great. To think that there's, the number of live events that we have on the Pac-12 network and the exposure that our Olympic sport athletes get is incredible. Second to none, and double probably the next closest league. So that is a great positive. Now, there are some things, some unintended consequences. Late kicks, which I know are a significant concern for our fans. And then we all would love more distribution. We have great partners. We have over 70-some distributors carrying the network, but there's one that's not that I know, creates some angst for folks, and we would love as much distribution as possible to connect with our fans, to help us in recruiting, and then obviously also more distribution means more resources and helps us close that resource gap that we face, particularly with our Big Ten and SEC peers. I think it has. The Pac-12 network has improved our league, from a distribution standpoint. No doubt that it's had a very positive impact on Olympic sports and the exposure that they receive. But there's definitely more work to be done. And I understand, because I get a lot of calls too about the late kicks. That's probably the one thing that really frustrates our fan base. Because this is one big difference. In the South, they want night games. They crave night games. They want that atmosphere that night games create. Here, I understand because of the travel distance that is a concern. And so we understand that. And, when you pull back the layers, because we were so far behind from a distribution standpoint as a league, at the negotiating table for this deal, there had to be some concessions, to get a Fox network game that gets an exclusive window. So the game that you see on Fox that's typically at 4 o'clock on the West Coast, we had to give Fox an exclusive window. So there's no other games that can be on in that afternoon window, which pushes all the games to early or to late. That's one of the reasons you see some of the late games.